Good evening, train fans, and my special train fans, Julian and Ellie. Tonight we're looking at one of my favorite locomotives in my collection. It's a classic. It's the Lionel 2026 Adriatic locomotive, produced in 1948 and again in 1949. It is early in the sense that it does not have magnet traction, but it is a very strong puller, and it's a beautiful example of post-war Lionel quality. This one was restored, and I purchased it off of eBay a number of years ago for a very reasonable price. And it's part of my collection, and I enjoy running it as often as I can. I also have the matching tender that went along with it. That is the 6466WX that you see right behind the locomotive. And it has the classic Lionel whistle, which I will demonstrate for you. And we're going to run the locomotive around this 4x8 oval, pulling a fairly nice consist of cars, passenger cars that is, and actually two freight cars as well. I picked up recently a second Railway Express Agency boxcar, which happens to be a refrigerator boxcar with an interesting door configuration on it. It's got a little spring on it that allows the door to pop in and out when it's opened and closed. And the second REA Express car is actually like a mail car, so it's got an action figure in it who's holding a mail sack, and you might have seen that car on some other previous videos that I've done. But I did want to feature this 2026 for you because it is such a classic and it runs really well. When it was restored, it was also converted from the pill smoke unit to the liquid smoke unit, and it smokes quite well, and you're going to see that in a few seconds when I start to run the locomotive around the track. So without any further ado, let's watch the 2026 as it runs around the track, pulling this very nice consist that I put together. I hope you enjoy it, and here we go. Before we conclude today's video, I thought I'd give you a closer look at the 2026 locomotive. The front pilot that you see here with the headlight, the chimney for the smoke, the drive rods, the very detailed eccentric drive rods on these three beautiful drive wheels that are steel rimmed. They really stand out. The handrail, the steam dome, the bell. It's non-functional, of course, but it still looks quite nice on top of this heavy die-cast locomotive from 1948. It's a fantastic runner, and it It runs very smoothly. Of course, it's very important. These locomotives, being as old as they are, well in excess of 70 years old, they need to be cleaned on a regular basis. They need to be greased, and they need to be oiled in the proper way with the proper lubricants. And there's lots of information on YouTube out there on the internet about the right things to use when you're doing that, to maintain these things. And if you do that, these locomotives will probably be running for the next 50 to 100 years. I certainly would love that, to think that it'd be possible for that. So I hope that you enjoyed this closer look at the 2026. There might be some other locomotives in my collection that are of a similar vintage. As you see here, I also have things that are much more recent, like the 426 Pennsylvania Keystone, which is an 080 switcher with sound effects and chuffing smoke, as well as the 86 that you see in the background there, which is a 260 locomotive, Canadian National, from the 2004 period. So all these different periods represent really the quality that Lionel continues to provide. So look forward to sharing more of this with you in future videos. I hope that you will like and comment and subscribe. And until next time, as I always like to say, run your trains.